G'day folks, thanks for checking out this video. This is the third one in the series on the Lagerphone. And this video is entirely dedicated to that small but critical component of any Lagerphone recipe, the humble old bottle top. In this video, we're going to be looking at ways to source them, how to prepare them, and also how to attach them so you can get the best sound out of your new creation. Hope you find it useful and interesting. In terms of sourcing the bottle caps for your Lagerphone, you have a number of options. Of course, you can go the traditional way and collect used bottle tops. These have the advantage of having coloured logos printed on them. Or you can source unused caps from a home brewery supply store. With both these first two options, you have the issue that the caps are lined with this plastic seal, which needs to be removed before you can use them on your Lagerphone, or it will sound very dead. The easiest way to remove the plastic liner is to heat the tops in boiling water to soften the plastic, which can then be prized out using a screwdriver or long-nosed pliers. Another good source are these shells, which are available online through craft supply sites. Just do a search under the term linerless bottle tops. These have the advantage of not having the plastic insert and being available in bulk in many different colours. Once you have collected your Lagerphone caps, you will need to puncture them to generate a hole where the screw will pass through to attach them to the stick. Some people suggest you can use a nail for this, but I find that only gives you a small hole, and that means there's not a lot of movement in the cap, so the Lagerphone sounds quite dead. As an alternative, I would suggest using a flathead screwdriver to make a slot, just like this. As you can see, this gives you an elongated slot, so the cap can move around a bit more, which means the Lagerphone sounds much brighter from the start. So here's an example of the hardware I use to put the bottle cap units together. These are 6G screws, 25mm. Onto the screw I add a series of washers, going from smallest to biggest. These are basically to stop the caps from falling off too easily, so they don't need to be changed as often. These washers, I'm sure, also help to add to the Lagerphone sound as well. And if you're starting from scratch, you can now add two newly punched bottle caps to make up the bottle cap unit you're going to attach to the Lagerphone. It's important to point out here that I have the caps facing out rather than facing in, as some people do. I believe this gives the caps more movement up and down along the screw and just makes the Lagerphone sound brighter. One other thing to point out is that the bottle caps can be reused. Here is how the bottle caps wear over time on the Lagerphone, and when they've fallen off, I pick them up and just reuse them by putting them behind the new bottle caps as I make up the bottle cap units. I think this means your Lagerphone sounds brighter because these older caps just have more movement, but also your bottle cap supplies just last longer. At the end of a performance, I might have 10 or 20 Lagerphone caps on the ground. I just make sure I go around and pick them up so that they can be reused. Before you attach the bottle cap units to the Lagerphone stick, you're going to need to pre-drill some holes which are slightly smaller diameter than the screws that you'll be using. So for 6G screws, this will mean using a drill bit of 2mm diameter. This is to help make sure that the wood doesn't split when you tighten up all the screws. Also, the holes need to be spaced just far enough apart so that neighbouring bottle caps just touch, like this. Once you pre-drill the holes, you can insert each bottle cap unit just by hand initially. And then tighten it reasonably tight using a screwdriver. There we go. Number one in, only 149 to go.